Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stamping Player. My name is Rochelle, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne. Thanks for joining me today for a Facebook Live, which I normally don't hold on a Thursday, but this is a bit of an extra one because I'm holding some classes over on Craft Alive, Geek 16, which is the Great International Craft Show. And the event is running over 3 days. So I thought I'll drop by and do a few Facebook Lives and share some inspiration with you. So giving a few seconds for you to hop on. Please say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. If you do watch the replay on YouTube as well or on Facebook, please let me know. I'd love to say hi back to you. And please don't forget to subscribe if you like the content here. I am sharing with you from the Hues of Happiness, the stamp set. This is a stamp set that is from our annual catalogue. So I'll show you that in a sec. Who managed to catch some classes today on at Geeks? There was lots of classes. There were 2 classrooms and it was a full day of events. I hope you managed to get some of that. There'll be classes tomorrow and there's classes on Saturday. So I will keep posting the information there on Facebook so you can hop on and see what's there. So I'm just going to turn the camera around and you can see what's here. The Hues of Happiness bundle is from pages 108 to 109. That's the one you see, the pretty front cover of our catalogue, the annual catalogue. I'll be working with the stamps and dies. And tonight I am going with a color combination from the Color Inspiration Challenge. And I'll be using Blushing Bride, Sahara Sand, Mint Macaron, and Garden Green. Those are my colors. And I'm also following a sketch from Freshly Made Sketches. So being assisted by 2 challenges for my card today. I'm just making sure I am live on Facebook as well. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so the Hues of Happiness stamp set, this is it. I have mounted my stamps already ready to go. I will be doing some watercoloring with this set. Now, I also will be using one of the Stays On ink pads, and I have pulled out Saddle Brown. But I am thinking I'm going to go jet black because, I don't know, I think that might work better. So the reason I'm using Stays On is because I am doing watercoloring, and with watercoloring you generally need the Stays On ink pad. Like there's always an exception to the rule where I sometimes flip it around, but I would say you have to have this to so that the ink doesn't run. These ink pads are water based, so if you use the Memento, your water will probably run. Hi, Inika. Lovely to see you from the Netherlands. Your favorite bundle? Oh, that's great. I'm so glad you could join me. What time of the day is it in the Netherlands at the moment? Is it morning? So I will stamp the flower there, and I'm going to give some space between. It's 9:35 a.m. Okay. And I haven't inked this up. I'm just going to do that again so I get a bit of I might take my ink pad the other way so I get a bit of crisper image. What sort of weather are you having over there? It's always interesting to see what sort of weather in different parts of the world. I would think it's some a little bit cold maybe. That's better. And then I'm going to stamp a few leaves. It does stain a little bit. Yeah, it does stain. Yes, Inika, you're right. The waterpolymer stamps. I just I do use it, and unfortunately, even the like you got your reds and pinks, your darker pinks do stain them as well. There is a StazOn ink cleaner, but don't use it on your photopolymer stamps because it's quite a strong one. I just use my stamping mist and give it a good clean. I guess it's personal choice. I have watercolored by using just a regular classic ink. So I've used crumb cake as an outline. You just got to be a little careful when you watercolor with them, so that you don't drag that color in. That's all. It's chilly, about 4 degrees. So, and yeah, when the wind's there, it's a little bit colder, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do my main flower in Blushing Bride. I'm gonna keep that open. I've got some Blushing Bride ink refill which I had here, and what I like to do, this is how I prefer to work with my colors. Instead of using the actual ink refill, I'll just this is a bit low on ink, so I will use the ink refill, but I sometimes stamp and use that as a, but that hasn't, oh, that might still work, as a palette. It just gives me a little bit more control, I find. So it's a very faint coloring, and I will probably go back through my ink refill and get some extra depth, darker color. Blushing Bride's a nice pink. It's a nice color combo from Color Inspirations. I mean, you can't go wrong with Blushing Bride and Mint Macaron. Such a nice color scheme. So I'm just letting some water through. You just press it. It's just, this is just a water painter. You get 3 in a pack when you buy, so that different widths, and this is the narrow one. You can start light and then you can add some more in. It takes a little bit of time, but the effect is really nice with watercoloring. But then again, sometimes I say watercoloring for a beginner is quick. If you, for backgrounds and things, it's a nice way to start because every background is different, and it's a really fun way to begin. That's okay, Nick. I just saw a comment now. It is like, I agree with the StazOn. It's just, I think it'll stain even your rubber, but the StazOn cleaner is good for that. But don't use it on your photopolymer. It's got a strong smell, the StazOn, doesn't it? The ink pad. It always reminds me of marzipan icing. Just gonna ink that up again. My Blushing Bride needs a bit of re-inking, but it's working for this. So now I'm just going back in the center and just adding a bit more color. can still catch classes tomorrow, the live classes. So whatever you can catch live is free. There were some really good demos today. I was trying to catch here and there. It's every different crafts and quilting and patchwork and other types of paper crafting as well. Journaling. People were doing all sorts of things. It's nice to be inspired and see different techniques and things like that. Ah, yes. It's hard to remember everything sometimes, Anika. There's so much to, there's a lot of information sometimes, isn't it? So I'm just going back in. I've actually dropped some ink refill prior. This has been there for ages. And I'm just going back into those little sections that look like they're sort of under, hidden in the shadows kind of thing. And I'm just adding a little bit of shading. I love watercoloring. It's very relaxing. I'll go in the center there. All right, so that, I think my flower, I'm happy with that, the shading and things like that. Now I'm going to bring in mint macaron. So I've already got some ink which I can use, and I think that should be enough maybe, but I've got my refills if I need to. I just make sure I start light, and then I can always add extra color if needed. I'll be adding some garden green to shade this more and bring in some definition. So actually this is quicker than blends coloring like this. If you my brush is not overly wet. It's quite, it's just damp. So I don't have a fully wet brush because I feel it gives me more control. You might have a different style, but for me that works better by not having it too, it just depends what technique. But when I'm coloring in or painting in, I just have a more dry brush. With just enough water, just move it around. Yes, watercoloring, it's good to do. Actually, I think it's one of those, it's quite forgiving. Even if it doesn't have to be perfect, really, like, especially maybe start with backgrounds. That's kind of, yeah, whatever you do, it'll look good. Just maybe there's the brush stroke backgrounds with the wider brush in the water painters. That comes out nice, and it doesn't have to be exact. That's what I find. That's a good way to start and get your feel for the brush. Now I've just put some garden green on here. Now because it's a darker color, I will just start very gingerly. That was a bit dark, but I might be able to, I'm okay with that. Just go with it. And these all have, there's dies for these, so there's, you can die cut. Oh, I see. Yeah. I think a drier brush is easier to control, because others, the water seems to run everywhere sometimes. So I really haven't, for this entire time, I have not really pressed this to get any more water. I've just had it that initially, before I even started, I pressed a bit to clear it and I refilled it. But since that, I've just done one or two when I've just added, I added some with the mint macaron to mix it up. But really, that's it. I'm not adding more to for each step. So like as I move the color in the palette, that's about all I'm doing. And that's efficient generally when you're working with small spaces. It's different if you're doing backgrounds and things. You'll feel it. And if you do press and find its heaps, just wipe off like that, and then you'll get what you need. Okay, so I'm going to just leave it for a sec so it dries. And I'll give those a clean after. Now, I've got some different leaves I'm thinking of using, and I'm not sure what I'm going to use. Sorry, I'm muddling around. So I brought a few different sorts. So I've got my blossoming happiness dies, but I've also got the artistic dies because I thought those might go well just for some filigree type of just open leaves, and we'll see how that goes. But once I die cut my leaves. So basically, so for the sketch, it's the freshly made sketches. You can hop on and see. I will do a blog post later, but so if you want to see it, you can have a look. But it's on the freshly made sketches side. So it's got and I'm just following that, and it had a bit of a circle focal point. So I have die cut a stylish shapes white circle. Then I've got a mint macaron and a Sahara sand, and these are from the layering circle stars, and this one's the stylish shapes. You like that die? It is elegant. Yes, it is a very elegant die. It's a nice one. Then wasn't 100% sure whether I'm going with a white card base or whether I'll end up going Sahara sand, but we'll see how we go. This is the Country Gingham paper from the mini catalog, and I was going to drop that as my background there on my basic white cardstock, and then I wanted a little bit of a panel over there, which I will add on to match up with the actual sketch. So I'm just going to cut a little bit here in a basic white. 10. And this was basically the sketch. All right, that's what I'm trying to get first. And just something like that. I mean, the sketches are there for inspiration. You can vary it It doesn't matter. There's always open for ideas. So I'm going to bring in my stamping cut and emboss machine, and we'll do some die cutting. I've got a dimensional stuck onto the plate here. I'm trying to get it off. Those dimensionals, they get everywhere. All right, so we've got that one and that one. These fit in the mini machine as well. I've just got a big piece of cardstock. That's why I'm using that. Sorry, I'm just reaching for some washi. Just swapping my plates around. I have to say I haven't done watercoloring lately, and really enjoyed doing this. Now let me see, where is this? This one's that's the right one here. I always get this wrong. Is it that way? No. I've got it here. It's this funny one here. Yep, that's it. I should mark that. What I do sometimes, I'll mark the stamp and the die. I put a little marker with a permanent marker, and then you know without the one I really have trouble with was that sunflower, and so I did that for that. Okay, I'm just getting some washi. Now it is your choice how you do this. You can either die cut first and then color in. But bear in mind that if you die cut first, you don't have any room nothing to hold on to. So that's why I prefer to color and die cut. Now there's pros and cons of doing it both ways. Either if you color first and then you die cut and your die slips, which does happen sometimes, and then you go, oh, my coloring is in way. But I just cut it around. If it met most of the time, I'll just go. See, I can see that leaf has moved already. Let me put another one there. I'm trying to do two at a go, but we'll see. And a second one there. Mustn't tempt fate there. I think that's right. That looks okay. It was like when I was doing those classes and I'd stamped some images and then I couldn't find it for my life. And I said, it's always the way. After I did the class, I found my images. It just something happens when you do lives. So just be a bit careful when you take it off. And that's pretty, isn't it? It's come out nice. That's a pretty flower. It's just a nice set. Sometimes I think when we get the catalogs, we get a new catalog. We forget about the old stuff we have. And that's why I thought I'll pull this out. The point said, yeah, I know. Iniko, that is sometimes I said I'd never be good at Lego or anything or putting things like that. I'm just hopeless. It's funny. Does your head in sometimes. I probably got too many leaves, but it's always like, it's just easier to paint a few extra and then have it ready. Because once you're in that groove of coloring and things, it's easier. Now I'm using shimmery white cardstock to, I should have said that, I didn't say. Shimmery white cardstock. You can use Fluid 100. I generally use this. Fluid 100 is nice too, but I use, this is my preferred. There's probably different times you can use the different cardstocks too for different projects. Okay, so now all our little leaves are cut. The next thing I might do is, I've got this, I can't even, this is the brush strokes. I was going to say I can't remember, but I just came back to me. The brush strokes paper. Now, I think that is soft succulent, but let me see. It might be even mint macaron, but it is pretty close. So I think that's fine for my little challenge. And you can see I've cut that a bit wrong, but I can just cut around it. That's fine. So I'm just going to die cut a full length of that. And I will use bits and pieces of it. Ooh. My things were in there. That would be nice on a card, just like a center panel. I will use that and I'll have to post that what I do with it. Might take your pick tool. This is where you need your take your pick tool. So this is quite fine paper. But it comes out like nice. Isn't that nice? Look at that. It looks pretty with that brushstroke paper, doesn't it? It is soft succulent, yes. As I thought it was soft succulent. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah, I wasn't sure. But with the challenge, I think I'll get away with it because they say anything close to. But sometimes what I do too, I go over it with something, with a stamping blend or something like that as well. But look at it. It's just that shimmer is so nice. It's really nice. I'm just going to give me 10 seconds. I'm going to get a embossing folder because I want to emboss that piece of white. That's what happens when you think suddenly. And I've chosen the Time Worn type embossing folder because I think it goes with that very feminine, like a, it's like a romantic kind of color scheme, I think. Thank you. You like it? Like the leaf as is? I think that shimmer comes up beautiful on it. I'm definitely going to do something with that die cut panel too. Have to try something with that. It's still nice to throw away, that panel. All right. So that's slipped, but it's a bit crooked. Not that you can tell. Once I put all my leaves, it will not be visible. So, well, I hope so anyway. All right, we'll glue this. So this is the Gingham Country from our mini catalogue. Then I'll just pulling out some of this ribbon. It's soft succulent, but or maybe I'll go with the Sahara Sand ribbon, I think. Before I stick that down, I will add some ribbon to it. With ribbon, sometimes you've got to think a bit ahead. Otherwise, it gets a little bit tricky to stick it on. So I'm just adding some tear and tape there. Just press it down well, because that'll help the top part come off. The backing, should I say. That makes that bottom bit stick on well. So this is the Sahara Sand ribbon from, it's a combo. You get Sahara Sand and Old Olive in that combo from the annual catalog. I'll glue that there. Now we'll put our flower maybe there. On top of our layering circles. Now I did want to do a little bit more stamping on this circle. So in this stamp set, you get like these little flowers. Wasn't sure whether to go ahead with that, so they can, it's like the little sprigs you get in the background. So I might just do them in Sahara Sand. So it's not too obvious, but just there in the background. if I do something like that, it's just there. Ingenika, I'd love for you to case my card. Go ahead. That's what it's all about. So let me see. What do I stamp off first? Do I stamp off? No. I think it's nice as is. So we'll go with something there. You could put a leaf there if you have that. So it's just maybe there. And I'm thinking then these can kind of tuck in and you've got something. And I might add the other one, which is a smaller lot of flowers on the bottom. So we'll put that there and sort of somewhere there. Maybe a little one here. It might not all be visible, but it's just sort of a bit of shading in the background. So I'm just going to add one, maybe or 2 dimensionals, but I'm going to put it in the middle because then I can tuck my leaves in between. Sometimes it's hard to work out where you're going to put your leaves without having something there, right? So always, this is how I always do it, because you need to have that in place before you start putting things on it. I'm going to glue these on before I forget, because I can just see myself. I'm going to forget to put all these together. It's just a very tiny border around it, but it's enough to just bring out that color from the mint macaron and to push it through. Before I add my flower, I want to add a bit of splattering with my markers. Just because I'm a layers person and I just want to add a bit extra. So I have got garden green there and Sahara sand. Now I probably should have done it before I stuck it on, but that's okay. We'll go with this. So I am going to just flick that with a bit, and I'll add a bit of more on one side. So that's garden green there. Oh, thank you. Love the rose, how the rose turned out. Now, this is not really doing what I wanted to do. So if it could be just my inks a bit low. I have actually I have soft suede in, wait a moment. I have it in a blending, stamping blend. We can use that. It's nice. This is Sahara sand. That's too dark. Not that it matters. But we could go concrete. Same. Just to give it a bit of a splattering. Use the brush side, just very lightly. If not, what I would do in this case, because I'm having some issues getting that, just add a few, and I will go back in with garden green too, just like in lots of 3 you can add, and a few more garden green ones. I'm using our stamping red markers, same with the blends. I didn't use that. It didn't work. So I'm using the Garden Green Stampin' Up markers. So these are water-based markers. Just adding a few larger dots in between. Okay. You've got a brush tip and a more like a narrow pen style. Okay, now I think I'm ready to go. All right, so it is a beautiful color combination. Yeah, so if you want, you can take part in that challenge. It's at Color Inspiration Challenges. It's on Facebook. It's a Facebook group, and you can join in and take part. There's So I'll put that in place. The sentiment's going to go here because I am following the sketch from Freshly Made Sketches. So the sketch is over here. When I put my dimensionals, I'm going to avoid this. I generally try to avoid putting it on top of the ribbon so it sits flat if I can. Now this one, I'll just trim off that because the die, I hadn't lined it up right. But that can just go in a corner somewhere. We've got 3. And then this, I'm going to trim it here. I think that needs to go half. So look at your dies and see what you can, like, how you can expand them. Like, I wouldn't use that full leaf in many times. It's very rare that I've used it in its entirety. But I do use it broken up a bit. I'm just tucking that in there. You can always cut it at the bottom because no one can see that. Not sure. I think that's too big on that side, but we'll see. I'll add the little one here. Yeah, that's better. Bond folder. And I'm just giving it a gentle turn. And I will tuck that in under that, the layers of circles. I like doing my leaves like that. So some are under and some are on top. So you get different heights. And I find that makes it look more natural. I'll put one under there. It's a bit like flower arranging, isn't it? Just putting a bit here and a bit there. Not that I do flower arranging, but I think it would be like that. Because just think of a bouquet and how it would be. It's just not stuck here and there. Yeah, cutting it up is better. You get more use as well. You can use dimensionals on this. I'm going to put one there. I might, so I'm putting a couple of sets of leaves here. I'm going to suck that down. Now I will maybe feels like it needs another one, but yeah, it might need another one. So in the end, those little flowers there, but you not, it's just in the background, but it just gives a nice bit of detail there. And I think one more under there. Just I might leave that because then you've got 3 and 3, and that might be better. Odd numbers together, they're 6, but there's just, then I've got a set of 3 and a set of 3 there. I normally would put a bow, but I might leave it, and I'm going to add my sentiment. Now for a sentiment, I was thinking a birthday, but this is kind of looking like a congratulations card, isn't it? It's a nice birthday card too. What do you reckon? I am looking for my stylish shapes that these fit in well with these sentiments. I know I tried this before, brought it over. So birthday fits nice. Oh, I see it. Okay, in the UK, if it's higher, you pay more. I think ours too is like a similar. I'll go with happy birthday because it kind of just fits in here. We have a certain amount, and when I went to post some of my Christmas cards, the lady said, "Oh, she charged me card only," and she said it's only meant to be a card. I said it is only a card, it's just got lots of letters. And then she didn't charge me extra. So we might go, I think Sahara sand. We'll go with Sahara sand. It's a bit softer. So I was thinking whether I go black, but it might be nice. Sahara sand. Oops. Put my hand in there. Just getting a bit of cardstock. And I went with the banner because it's the sentiment sitting like in the middle of here. So I thought nothing too ornate, just something very simple. Now it does cut off that end bit, but it's okay. You can read that says happy birthday. Sometimes when you when I came in, I didn't have I sort of had an idea what I was going to make, but really hadn't formulated anything in my head. So it's nice to see how it turns out. And you walked with me on making this card. So that's nice. Oh, that's interesting to know. You have standard, it's the same size mailboxes. Right. I think the Sahara Sand sentiment is just sweet. If I did it in black, it may have been a bit too harsh. Just down there. And we can't go without embellishments. So I had, we'll do some, I'll do some stamping on the inside and on our envelope. And all I'm going to do is keep it fairly simple with that little flower we stamped in the background. Let's just do that in a corner here before we finish our card off. And I think it's just like a sweet little addition. Just remember, when you place an order of $90, you will get a Sale-A-Bration reward until the 20th of Feb. So any amount of order, if you go to 180, you get 2 or 1 tier 2 Sale-A-Bration reward. And right now I've got an ordering special until Sunday. Orders of $90 will receive the make and takes from my online class yesterday, which I did a birthday card class. So there's 4 cards I did. You'll get the make and takes for that. So that's 4 cards, and if your order reaches $150, you will get a pack of iridescent pearls. So that's order. You can order until Sunday, and you'll get that. I'm choosing the heart pearls. I thought that was a little really sweet. I like the look of these. They're very elegant, and I think they go really well on this card. Yeah. What do you think? Do you like the heart pearls on that? Does it look nice? Can you see that? You're moving to France in March. It'll be good to be close to your grandkids. That'll be lovely. So what do you think? Do you like that? Do you, feel free to case it. And if you do, I would love to see what you make. Yes, could the pearls go well with the brush, the shimmer of the brush stroke? Yeah, funny, isn't it? That I didn't think of all that, but yeah, I like that. Hearts, sometimes I'm not always on the hearts thing, but it does go well with when you put it in like that. So thanks for joining me. I've really had fun and had fun getting back into the watercoloring too. So if you do make or case this card, I'd love to see what you make. You can pop it in the comments, and I'd love to see what you've done with this and see your variations of it, how you've changed it up, and get onto those challenges as well. Take part in them. They're there for anyone to take part in, and so you can enjoy. I will pop the photo up probably tomorrow on this card up, so you can have another look at it on Facebook and on my blog. everyone for joining me. I've had a lot of fun. You're welcome, Anika. I have enjoyed chatting with you. It has been lovely. I hope to see you again so I can catch up with you again, and would love to see what you're going to make with your case. And catch up tomorrow for Craft Alive. It's open for anyone, so make sure you check the class schedule and hop on there. And I will catch up with you over the next 2 days again there, and I'll probably be doing a Facebook Live tomorrow night as well because of the event. I'm doing a few extras. All right, everyone, thank you. Have a good night. Have a good day wherever you are. I appreciate your time. Bye-bye.